Combs, author of Kumihimo Basics and Beyond, and today I'm going to show you how to add a focal bead to your Kumihimo braid when the focal bead's hole is too small to fit over the beaded rope. Let's take a look. I have here these marble beads from Unicorn, and I love them. They're gorgeous, but take a look at the hole size. This is not big enough to fit over a beaded Kumihimo, not even if you use teeny tiny little beads. So how do we incorporate these beads into the braid? What you do is you braid normally up until the point when you want the first bead. Then you're going to braid without beads a distance that's just a little bit shorter than your focal bead. Maybe aim for, between half to 3/4 of the distance of your bead. And then we're going to take everything off of the disc, put the bead on, get everything back on the disc, and resume braiding. I have detailed written instructions for this in my book, Kumihimo Basics and Beyond, but let's do it together here. So I have a braid on the disc, and I've braided the first length, and I'm ready to put on my first focal bead. So these beads are graduated in size, so I'm going to pay attention and make sure that I have them in order here. I want to put the smallest bead on first, so that's going to be this one right here. And I've already braided my little bit without beads. So now I'm ready to remove my bobbins and take everything off the disc. Now, that sounds scary. I know I've told you before, hey, don't take things off the disc. And that's true. But here's what I want you to do. You're gonna take the gaiter weight off the bottom. So you have this clip here. If you had a hemostat, you could use that too, but I know that you have this gaiter weight handy at the bottom of your braid. So just take it off the braid, and we're gonna bring it up here to the point of braiding, and we're gonna clip that braid section we did that has no beads. We're clipping right below the point of braiding. Now we can safely take everything off the disc, and we know that there will be no unraveling, no unbraiding will accidentally happen. So I'm just pulling all my bobbins off one at a time. Whoops, and I accidentally pulled one of my cords out of its slot already, and it's fine, not a big deal. Okay, now I'm gonna take everything off the disc. Now, do be careful, don't tangle your cords, but this should come off without incident. Okay. Just getting all my cords to the same side. Ta-da! There we go. Now, we're going to put on our smallest focal bead. I'm just straightening out the ends of my cord because I got kind of tangly. I have all 8 of them here. They're not all exactly the same length, and that's, normally not a big deal, but that's gonna be super annoying, so I'm gonna give them a little haircut. Just a snip. Okay. Now they're all lined up, and let's see if I can do this in one go with everybody watching. Yes, success. All right. I have my 8 cords on there, and we're gonna pull these through. Pull, 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 pull. All right, I'm right next to the clip. Now I'm going to remove the clip, pull my bead right up against my beaded braid. Notice how I'm pinching this here. You need to keep a hold of this so that it doesn't start to unravel, because now there's nothing really holding your braid together. It's not gonna explode, but don't leave it unattended. Now I'm gonna put this back on the disc. Once you get a couple cords on here, you can relax. There we go. There's one, there's two. I'm not paying any attention to where these are going. I'm not worried about what cord was in what position when we stopped. It doesn't matter. We're starting fresh. I'm just getting all 8 of them on here in our standard starting position. There we go, so that's 1 on either side of every dot. What I am looking for is I want my center where that bead is to be pretty neat and tidy. Let's zoom in on that. That looks all right. I mean, these are a little crisscross, so I think I'll fix those real quick. All right, that looks good. These two are also crossed. Let me just straighten that out. Okay, great. Now, everything is back on the disc. Everything is arranged really neat and tidy. There's no crisscrossing. Now I can string my beads. How many beads you string depends on the exact project you're doing, so refer to your project instructions. I'm gonna just string the beads that I need. Oh, also you can put your clip back on the bottom. So let's restring beads. Okay, ready to go. I strung beads on each warp. Again, refer to your specific project instructions for how many beads you need to string at this step. Now that I have my beads strung, I need to braid without beads in order to get my warps back at the correct point of braiding so that I'll be able to lock beads in. Because if I tried to lock a bead right now, the cords aren't in their usual over-under position, so there won't be a place to lock the bead. Also, I'm too close to the focal bead. There's no space. There's no space to tuck a seed bead right there. So I'm gonna start by doing 8 moves, no beads. So top right down, that's 1 move, bottom left up, that's another move. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, please note that ordinarily it's a big no-no in Kumihimo to have your braid sitting on the table while you work, but I have to do that in order to stay in frame. So remember that when you're working, your weight should be hanging freely and swinging in the air. Don't let it rest on the table. All right, so I've done my 8 moves. So now, if there's room, I could lock a bead in. Let's see if it'll do it. It's there. Do we think it's gonna stay? Let's find out. We're gonna braid really gently. Oh, it doesn't want to stay on this side. Ah, it popped. Okay. I thought so. We're too close. We're too close. So I'm going to do this move without bead. So I just took that bead out. There we go. So remember we had done 8 moves before, so now we're at 9, 10. Let's go. 11, 12. Now let's try again. Yeah, much better. Much better. So the exact number of moves that you'll have to do without beads will depend on the shape of your focal bead. And they will be fiddly, so just be patient with yourself. Braid gently, and again, normally make sure that your braid is swinging freely. That would make this go easier for me. once you get the first 4 beads in, you're usually golden. Yeah, and there they go. Nice and easy, as usual. So that's it. You just keep braiding with beads, however many beads your project calls for, and then when it's time to add the next focal bead, you'll braid another section, no beads, take everything off, put your focal bead on, get everything back on the disc, string more beads, and resume. That's how it goes until you've done all the beads in your project. Thanks so much for watching. That was how to add a focal bead to your beaded kumihimo when the focal bead hole is too small to slide directly over the beaded rope. Bye.